up, Rangers? Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve, and today we're gonna unbox some Photon Collectibles 3D printed figures that I got in to do a paint job for commission. Figured it'd be fun to kind of open these up. I'll show them next to a couple of the other Monster Arts figures that are supposed to be in scale, and kind of give you guys my thought processes on how I'm going to be going into commissions and kind of what I look out for when checking these guys out to make sure that there isn't going to be any issues for when I go to paint them. So anyways, what we have here is the Charybdis, which is Scylla? Is that how you say his name? Her name? It looks like Scylla, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like Scythe in a way, so Scylla. And then we have the Flying Fortress, or the Argo, which I haven't actually opened these up yet, so this will be first time. Also, you guys will see, I have my city kind of here, because the plumber is going to be over here in a little bit. And I kind of want to get this filmed before he does. But where the plumber is going to do his thing, I can't have this where it was. So, because I kind of have usually set aside unless I'm doing something specific for it. I do like that it comes with a little card, though. Like, this is pretty sweet. It's a little bit more, oh, it's got a little numbers too. This is actually cool, because we've done the Muto in the past for, actually I do believe the Muto's from the same, I did the same commission for. It's the same guy. But that figure was kind of, it was okay. I had some issues. Once like everything got sorted out with it, it was fine. But I didn't really like the mix-match joints. I thought was a big issue, especially when gray and black joints are fairly readily available. Might have bumped up the cost a little bit on the guy, but I think having less to physically work with is better than not, because these are kind of meant to be model kits in a way. Oh, but they're packaged very nicely, so that's cool. Guess we'll kind of put it together here. I'm gonna need a knife. Crud. Crappy box cutter hoe. Because the blade's sort of dull. So I shouldn't have to worry about cutting into things as much. Alright, so we got 3 limbs. Are they the same? Yeah, they look exactly the same, at least to my eyeball. Ooh, that's some really nice detailing on the bottom of that little leg, though. Looks pretty smexy. Liking it so far. So, those 3 legs. Then we have what appears to be a base. What the heck is that color? Okay, well, that's a little weird. Well, it's cool. He's got like I was gonna say, it looks like a Tamashi axe stand. That's a giant bubble in there. I think these are the bootleg ones. He sanded the tip down a bit. I imagine that's so it can fit into the figure. More than likely, I'm going to try to save as much of this bubble wrap as I can for when I go to ship it back out. This looks like more legs. Okay, so one thing I definitely like that's an improvement over the previous one is that he actually used black joints. Problem is that for the kaiju, this color isn't going to work. I almost think you would have preferred to have a gray base. God, that's actually kind of hard, because usually my go-to for doing joints is to dye them, but dyeing black is going to be kind of rough. That's for certain. But I see he actually put some texture on them, so it might be able to hold some paint pretty well. Nice thing too is they're not ratchets, they're actually friction joints. So these are literally the joints that I ordered. Wow, they're kind of... Why are they so stiff compared to the ones I put together? Okay, that's a little terrifying, because this is 3D printed, so it don't take much to break these. So, one thing I look out for is that in particular, is how the joints are going to be. They're actually fairly stiff on this one. So I'm definitely going to have to kind of work them a little bit in order to get them to not hopefully break on the figure. That, and again with black joints, it's going to require more finesse to get the color on them, and especially them being a darker color to begin with, it makes it kind of hard to brighten it up. And the paint job we're kind of looking to do, I'll have it right here, is to have it more movie than the comic book, which is, ooh, that looks nice. Detail looks good. It's a lot of nice edges on the tentacles. That's the other thing I'm kind of looking at too when checking this out is the detailing, because for the most part, a lot of what I do is you put like one primary paint job over the entire thing, one primary color, and then you kind of dry brush your other colors over top of it, which helps to kind of bring out the colors, the detail, and make it look a little bit more like organic. But if it doesn't have much detailing, it's really hard to pull that off and make it look natural without just having like weird paintbrush lines, which is something I usually try to avoid when painting figures. Like, I really don't want brush strokes. Alright, so here's the center body, which looking pretty solid overall. Putting it together, I could see maybe this part being maybe an issue. That's where it looks like the stand goes into. So, what are these? Imagine they're more front legs. Probably help if I cut into the part where it's actually the tape connects. Extra limbs. Oh, this is probably in case something breaks, I'd imagine. Okay, that's cool. It's always nice to get extra little parts. Color variety is a little off, but that's fine. It's meant to be a kit. I don't really, that stuff like that doesn't really bug me that much. Oh, there's a little mold line right there on the thing. Oh, same with like here. Like this one's already snapped. Right, so are these just like damaged ones? So I like that there's extra sent out, but they got some issues, especially the ones already cracked. So that's a little bit on the downer side. Where we put the box, we'll put that back in there. Because for the most part, I shouldn't really need them. It's one nice thing about doing what I do is like I just paint the stuff myself. So, or I can fix the things myself if I got an issue. Like I could solve that broken limb problem. This is a little scary. Some of my thinking is, I think he sanded down everything and then assembled it, which is going to make this a lot harder. Because especially with these limbs, like that's a little scary. And then making sure these limbs aren't going to snap on the guy after he gets them. That and adjusting hole sizes. Because for starters, those don't really go in that well. And then rotate them. Like if you do it at the base, it's not going to be as big of a deal, but you can see like that ain't going anywhere. But like I've mentioned, and I think the guy does too when he's selling these things, like these are meant to be kits. So you will have to actually put some work into them once you get them, which I know eventually I would like to try to do stuff like this. But ideally, I would just be doing 100% figures. Like it would just be like everything be done when you got it. Granted, probably wouldn't be able to sell as many of these, or as fast. But here it is, all decked out. We got the stand. How well is the stand hooked in? Stand hooks. See, like the stand hooks are very nice. So get all that situated. Yeet. Is that glued? Alright, so that doesn't want to move. So, alright, stand, you're not going to be super useful at the moment. To be honest, I wouldn't really worry about the sagging too much. Alright, next we have the Argo. Oh, that looks pretty nice overall. Couple of scuffs, but nothing too crazy. Detailing on it, very nice. It's just black for the most part. You can see thrusters here on the back. Pretty smexy. Oh, okay, so it's just another stand, which is cool. This one's a little bit rougher than the previous one. As you can see, it's still got sand shading. This one's also been detailed at the top too, but it does hook in. So overall, not too bad. I already like it. I like this better than the Muto preview that was previously done, because that one just had quite a few issues. And a lot of that just stemmed with the joints, I think, was my biggest hang up for that. This is definitely an improvement. And if I was going to do them, these would be similar to what I would use anyways. I don't know if I would have textured them myself. I think we would have been better off just shipping them, calling them a day. I get why they're textured, but it seems like, I don't know, just to me, having done some of these and using these same joints, they're usually not that stiff. But then again, he probably uses more of them than I have, so maybe that it's a more common thing than I think it is. But having done a few articulated figures, it I don't know. I think it's just like a lot of that detailing. I think if you're gonna be having the customer paint it to begin with, and be doing some of the extra, like if there's stuff that needs to be fixed, like I mentioned, I think some of the holes might need to be a little bit bigger, just so there's a little bit more movement, because like these two are not going to really be going anywhere without me really worried about breaking them. This one's, like, these two are fine. This one needs to be loosened. So it's just going to be a lot of playing around with this, but you can see it scale next to a painted up Monster Arts 2021. Then there's the Argo next to him. I also have a Super X just kind of laying around here, which I think scales pretty well. Maybe the Argo is a little too small compared next to that. And you know what, that's probably right, because you think like next to Ghidorah, it was big, but not that. It was not super small. And you gotta think of like how many people are actually on the thing, because it was quite a bit. So overall, I think it looks really nice. It just needs a little bit, like this is gonna be actually a pretty quick paint job. It's mainly just kind of giving it some metallics. Like I got a graphite paint that'll probably look really good on this, and then just kind of touching up a couple areas, maybe adding the flames to the bag to make it look more like it's flying. This one's gonna be fun though. Again, I'm gonna try to get more movie accurate, like the concept colors on this one. But anyways, outside of that, not really noticing too much else that I see is gonna be a predominant issue when doing this, because for the Mutos, a lot of the problem I had with those is some of the connecting points with the custom-made joints. There was a lot of rub. So when you go to paint it, it's going to rub the paint off unless you prep it properly. And even then, it's not a guarantee. While this one definitely is not going to have nearly as many of those issues, which pretty excited to see. But that's pretty much it for this video. So help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button. Also help support the channel without donating. But if you'd like to donate, we also have a Patreon and Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram if you guys like to keep up to date with the channel. Also, we have our own customs that we've been doing, primarily beams. So if you guys like to get a hold of one of those, our Instagram or Facebook, easiest way to get hold of us. I'll have a link in the description for those as well. A couple of photos here so you guys can see what the beams look like. And see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.